right, so we're gonna get started a couple minutes. We're gonna get started a couple of minutes early here. Dave Roberts is sick, so I'm gonna fill in for him when it's his part. I can do all the updates. I can't do the accent, but I can definitely do the updates. So we're gonna start with Philip, and then he can pick who's next, and then you guys know the drill.
Is it on now? Yes. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Philip Mail. I'm the licensed nursing home administrator and the director of the health center. Normally, when I come here, I give a couple updates about things going on. I'm going to shift that up a little bit, and we're going to discuss paradigms. Doesn't that sound exciting? Big word, paradigms. The difference between the health center and here, in the broadest sense, is it's a different set of walls and a different ceiling. Many folks who come over from independent living are scared. Many folks who come over are afraid of the unknown and are afraid they'll be forgotten. I'm not making this up. It's direct observation, direct interviews, direct discussions with my staff who meet with the folks that need to come over to the health center. The health center is not some strange mystical land. The health center is you. Because at any given time, let's be honest with each other, you're here today in independent living. Something could go wrong. Something could change. Some level of support, something physical could change. And next week, tomorrow, you could be in the health center. I don't say that to be ominous. I don't say that as a threat. It's people. We are a community of people here in independent living. It's your same friends and neighbors that you knew, the people who lived across the hall from you, the people that you had dinner with in independent living. That's who's in the health center. It's all of you. And so I say this, again, to look at paradigms, to encourage you when you're talking about the health center with each other and understandable questions and understandable fears and understandable anxieties that may come up, do talk about it and then come talk to us. And definitely come talk to your neighbors. Come talk to the people that you have been friends with, you've been close with, you've been neighborly with, who are in the health center, and get accustomed to it. Don't be afraid to come on over. Visit with them, talk about their experiences, come back, talk to each other, but whatever you do, don't treat the health center in your heads as a pariah or the place where people go to die. It's where you get your mail, okay? Life goes on, and we put a great deal of effort in making sure that life does go on. And it goes on in a way to the best of our abilities and the best of your abilities that is still fulfilling, that's challenging, that's stimulating, and the things that you know and love to do here, we are extremely dedicated to doing our best to making sure you can do those very same things in the health center. And so visit your friends. They miss you, they love you, they want to feel like they're still part of the Woodland Pond community. That's something each and every one of us can do. And I guarantee it, if you're having some mystery anxiety, it will help you also. You'll see that life goes on. You'll see the level of support and caring that goes on, and it might help you with some of the struggles you're having. And of course, my desk, email, phone number, or whatever is available to all of you. If you have questions, you didn't want to talk about it in the open, you didn't want to talk about, come talk to me. Or I'll put you with someone that you want to talk to that might have more detailed information. But let's dispel some of the fears and some of the misconceptions. All of us came to Woodland Pond as a community. The health center is part of that community. It's part of who we are collectively. So there's my paradigm discussion for this afternoon. Any questions that I can answer?
No, but I'll add something to that, Philip, and I think that was very well said. One of the things that, because apparently now this is my new shtick, is about being mindful about your language. We have had recent incidents where we have observed residents saying to another resident that's moving to the health center, "Oh, you're going to the dark side." When that person already has anxiety or is fearful, that's probably one of the least helpful things, or that sentiment is probably one of the least helpful things. And one of the things I think that can destigmatize the health center as much as possible is you going there.
Mhm.
I don't know if Wayne Lavender is here. But Wayne talks, I'll get to you in a second, Jill. Wayne talks all the time about how rewarding his job of mail delivery is to the residents in the health center. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Wayne, but you have said that before. And how do you want to espouse on that for a minute and just talk for a second about that? Not to put you on the spot, but will you? Because you've said how eye-opening it has been for you. Maybe not in so many words.
Well, I need to get my steps in because I don't do enough steps according to my iPhone. And also, I like to, if not confront my fears or concerns, deal with them. So in the back of my mind, even though it's a comfort for me that someday I might need any of the three or many, maybe all of them, who knows, of the components of the health center, why not just see what it's like? So by dropping off the mail once or twice a week, I get to see people living in their rooms and their apartments. I get to see people receiving services. And most of all, I get to see people I already know, even though I've been here 2.5 years. There are a number of people in the health center who I've had contact with when they were here in the independent living sector. So I say hello, they say hello, I give them the mail. They say the same things that they said here at the post office. I hope it's not a bill. Or how come they want more money? I already sent them money.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. So I find it normalizing, and it's good for me. And I'm providing an actual service.
And we
I have the time.
Appreciate that. Jill, you wanted to add something, I think?
Since Margaret Nyhouse, chair of the Health Center Committee, isn't here, I'll just remind people that beginning next month, they will be leading tours to the health center. You can sign up for them in concierge. Beginning in September, they will have one a month. And that is absolutely the best way to go because they show all 3 sections of the health center. You actually can stop and see people that you know over there. And we really encourage people to go on the tours and see the health center from that perspective, because they learn about each one of the sections, what goes on there. You can see how the nurses are moving around and helping people. It's a really excellent way to get an overview of it.
Thank you, Jill. That's great.
Quick question. When's a good time to go to if you just want to go over and visit, when's a good time to walk over to see people?
So there's no formulaic answer for that. The good news about the health center is visiting hours is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I would say whatever works best for your schedule. And there's no curfews for residents. We try to implement a person-centered approach the best we can. You tell us when, I'm speaking to a health center resident here, when you want to go to bed, when you want to get up, where you want to go, what do you want to do for the day? So whatever routines on a daily basis work for that health center resident and work for you as the visitors, we can accommodate that.
And I know that we still can always use more people to help with the neighbor corps, which is, residents that might want to go for a walk, but, might need assistance with being pushed. Maybe that's not something you can physically do, but maybe just accompanying someone or going to visit.
Play cards. Sit
But
and talk.
one thing I will point out, John, to your point, is we do have calendars for every single unit, activity calendars. We can make sure that every resident is aware that those are available at concierge. And actually, one of the things that we're contemplating as part of the renovation and also the that program is to, in the mailroom, utilize more like slot type distribution for flyers and things. You know, because right now we put a lot of things in the cubbies, but like, for example, your menus by the hostess station are in one of those slots and you just go pick it up. We can put some of the calendars and things there. So if there's something appealing to you, everyone should be able to use all of the amenities in the entire campus and encouraged to do so. But Philip, I think that's been a great point. I'll take two more comments and then we'll go on to the next person. I'll go to Lionel and then to Jean.
Well, first of all, the doors to the health center initially are scary. That being said, I'm one of the people who has gone into the health center and come out of the health center because rehab is the thing. And my experience there has been absolutely marvelous. I mean, it was enlightening that I realized how wonderful the people there were, and nothing scary about the place.
I appreciate that.
Speaking of the doors, if we want to visit someone, we have to go upstairs and around and downstairs. If there's any way, I don't know if we allowed, but that we could get in more easily, I think there would be more interchange.
This conversation makes me among the least popular people, briefly, I hope, in the community. We are required by law to have people sign in at reception for a number of reasons. It meets fire safety code. We have to know who's in the building at what time. And in these glorious days of pandemics and screenings, and we have to be able to conduct those kind of screenings and make certain sort of informational material available. Those are several reasons. Another important reason is you are entrusting us to take care of you and your loved ones. Neither or any of you should not be given the responsibility of knowing who can exit the health center and who can't. And there's no way you could know that. And you'd be surprised at some of the folks at first glance that should not be safely left off the units. You have no way of knowing that. You're all very nice people. You will all hold the door open for someone you shouldn't. So those are all the reasons why I'm sorry for the flaws of the architectural design that we've lamented many times, but unfortunately that inconvenience outweighs all those other things. But I get it. I get it.
You know, I think a good start would be when they have entertainments or programs going on in the great room. It's great to go there, get to know the residents there, and it's great. It's run beautifully, and I wish I could do more there. It's great.
Great. Thank you all so much.
Sorry, I don't stand still. Ice cream. We are changing ice cream. I've gone over this many times in this is ridiculous. We've talked about it in dining committee. We are looking to make a move effective Friday to start bringing in a new ice cream company. We're going to start using brand Hershey's. We're offering a tasting after we are finished in this room. They're setting up outside to provide some samples for anybody that would like to try it. There was some concern about, some change, obviously, with just the ice cream in general. We used another company prior to this. Doing business with other company was very difficult over time. They were bought out by somebody else. It was been some issues for us. We've had a couple weeks in the past where we got really low, so we made the decision ultimately to switch our products. I can promise you that the quality will be better, and the service will be just as good. We're going to do quarterly ice cream shows, not like a show, but a tasting. We're going to, in both the independent side and the health center side, we're going to be providing services to everybody in the community, and just a little show for you, just to provide something else that that's available to us. Coffee. I know that's going to
Wait,
be
wait, wait, wait.
obviously, we're going to skip the coffee conversation.
I want to go back to the ice cream for a second.
Go
So
ahead.
one of the things that Hershey's is really exciting for us, one of the reasons is because they have a very significant line of dairy-free ice creams, the ice cream.
Mainly the goal right now is to increase dairy-free and sugar-free options
Right.
for everybody.
Yeah, so they have a great deal of that. They've got a lot of novelty type items that we can access. And one of the things that you're going to see sooner than later is there's actually going to be a board up, probably by Hostess, that tells you what the flavors of the day are. So,
Yes,
we should just end the meeting now.
I know. We're good, right? No
I
question.
hear ice cream melting as we speak. Just kidding. I don't know the answer to that question. What was the question, William? Oh, okay. Yeah. Move it along, Jared.
I don't have too many announcements. The ice cream change is one of them. I know that is concerning to a few. So I apologize if that's a fear, but I promise you the quality and the service is going to be twice that it was in the past. Yes, ma'am. We're going to go back to coffee, I promise.
Okay, this is going to sound dopey. Trying to get it for quite a while now. We can't have spoons, but can we have stirrers at tables so we can mix our iced tea? That's all I want. Tables.
Iced teaspoons?
Anything that I can stir in the Splenda without having to use my butter knife.
I'll see what I can do about teaspoons.
Okay, thank you.
Spoons.
Actually, Jared, didn't we mistakenly buy miniature spoons?
We certainly did. We're going to use those spoons. We
Yes.
bought espresso teaspoons.
Spoons.
They
to stir
we'll
your.
give you a mini iced tea, and you can use that. I would really like to talk about coffee because I know this is a sore subject and a wonderful subject for many of you. We made the decision to go with a fresh coffee because the quality of the product is hands down better than what it was before. Freeze-dried coffee is not good for you. I need everybody to understand this. The product we're doing now, as of today, it has been 3 weeks since we started doing fresh coffee. We've overcome many hurdles. We had some problems in the beginning. We're going to have problems tomorrow. We're going to have problems next week. We've overcome so many hurdles and gotten used to how we're doing this and trained our staff on how to operate these systems, and residents have had wonderful things to say and maybe not so wonderful things to say, but I can assure you that the quality of the product you're receiving now is hands down better than it was before. This wasn't a decision to cut off the time of the coffee or the type of coffee. This was a decision made on the quality that we're providing. This is a free service that we provide to the residents. I would like that if we are providing for free, I would like to at least provide you with something that we truly believe is a better product. We brew this, almost any pot you're drinking has been brewed within at max 2 hours, and they stay perfectly hot in these shuttle brewing systems. There's been some issues in the past. Now we're temping the coffee every hour. We're checking the coffee every hour. The creamers are checked every hour. Like I said, there's hurdles that we've had to overcome, and there was going to be more to come in the future. But I can assure you the quality of the product we're serving now is better than it was before. And I hope that we can at least appreciate that. That's our goal that we're trying to provide.
Jared, do you want to talk a little bit about options for the actual flavor of the coffee or the brand?
So right now we're using Starbucks. I am exploring the idea of providing a tasting though, because maybe Starbucks isn't the end all be all of what we provide for years to come. Right now, in terms of flavors, we're providing just a regular and a decaf in terms of flavors, but we would like to explore other varieties of coffee. Maybe we do introduce flavors down the line. Maybe we introduce another coffee station down the line. I don't know those details as of right now. But the route we're going, I really enjoy this, and I think most people do. I know there's been some disagreement, but I really think the majority of people enjoy what what we're providing to them right now. Yes.
Jared, didn't you tell me that you did, like, you're analyzing how much is being consumed now versus then? Is it
Yeah.
more or less?
In the very beginning, well, so overall, we are going through twice as much coffee, not necessarily 2 times as much, but at least 1.5 times the amount of coffee we did prior with the other system. I can't calculate it by cups in that system, but I can tell you I can't calculate it by cups versus the fresh brewed in comparison to the freeze dried, but I can tell you in terms of paper cups, we're going through twice as many. So that many more people are coming and taking coffee to go. I know for a fact that more people are coming down and filling carafes from, and not all residents, but from nurses in the health center. People are coming and enjoying the products that we're serving more and more every day. We're serving more coffee than we ever did before. I would like to think that this product tastes better and is the drive for that increase. Yes, sir.
All right, I'll go to Lionel. Lionel,
Yeah.
take the mic here.
Now, one of the problems is at 7:00, the coffee goes.
Mhm.
And if people want to stay in the pub and talk and spend some time there in the evening over a cup of coffee, they can't.
So my concern with leaving a fresh product out like that is we're not there to monitor it. I don't have any staff in the building to monitor what happens to that coffee. In the previous system, it was a locked box. The freeze dried coffee system, you had to have a key to open that up.
No,
I can't guarantee.
that was on 24 hours a day.
But access to the coffee was not. It was only
The
access.
machine was
access
working 24 hours a day.
Yes, sir. But access to the coffee was limited.
Oh, you couldn't refill it.
Correct. So we have to monitor these things. I can't leave a fresh brewed product out like that for too long because it poses significant health risks.
I'll go to Ronnie and then you can go on to another topic if you have one.
Question.
Thank you. Since you've upgraded the coffee product, how about upgrading the tea product? Now, I've noticed in the pub, you have the Tasso tea,
Mhm.
but you have to pay for it. It would be really nice to get an upgrade on the tea instead of Lipton's.
For the tea out in the pub?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think about that.
We can look at some options. We used to do Tazo and the boxes would disappear.
Yeah.
And it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So I totally hear you because I like Tazo better, but we're gonna have to look and see, maybe there's some options that are
With our
cost
current,
effective. I mean, this is the complimentary stuff, so we need to make sure it is somewhat cost effective.
Yeah.
But we'll look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other topics right now?
nothing right now.
All right. Thank you. Yes, Laura? Oh, cinnamon as a
Cinnamon.
flavoring. Some people
Um,
do like to sprinkle some cinnamon in their coffee. They're already out? Okay, yes, we can do that, Laura. As Jared says, whoever he's going to pick next, which you can do, I will just announce to you that Phil will be here on Monday, the new Director of Dining Services, and we need to give a round of applause to Jared for being named the Assistant Director of Dining Services. And we will be posting for the replacement executive chef position this week, by Friday.
Hi, Tom
But he's
Tango,
leaving on the
Director of Plant
26th.
Operations. I'll give you an update on the Big Dig project and the trail. Like a lot of you know, the trail improvement project was zipping along, going fine. And then they discovered we became aware that we had to replace a large drainage pipe. So that project commenced, and that project is 94% complete. It's a few more things to do, and now they just today started again on the trail. In addition to completing the trail, we're also making some improvements to it that wasn't in the original scope, because a lot of you are aware that after it was done, due to a lot of rain, a lot of the trail was damaged. So we made some, we consulted with the design engineer and we made some improvements to it to make sure that the trail stays where it is and that it doesn't wash away. So that work has started as well. So I don't have a time frame of how long. I'm thinking like another 2 weeks, and we should see a lot of improvement. The contractor who when he started the work, he would have been done with it in the time frame that he originally said. But then we had the discovered problem, so that threw the whole schedule off. So that, again, they're here today. They're here with a full crew, and they will be. So it'll be zipping along. And pretty soon we'll get to open it up, and it'll get to stay just the way, it'll be good. September 3rd. Hello? Oh, there you go. Yeah, like Michelle said, there'll be September 30th. So that means that I have to have it done by at least, you can use it. So it'll be done. Oh, there we go. All right. The wooden fence will be up by then. Yeah. Like you saw today, they had to take care of a little bit of the washout, and then they got to seed, and then they'll get the fence up. And then once the fence is up, then Mark, our guys, will come talk to you and get your plants all squared away. And I thank you very much for your patience, and Dave Smith, and everybody had to be patient, but especially Cynthia and Dave and some other people back there had to be very patient. And they also had to be careful not to fall down the hill. So. Right.
I think Paul had a question.
Yep.
Tom, are they planting something other than they planted on the hill the first time? It just washed out in the first rain.
Yes.
Well,
And then once
a different plant.
and then once the perennial ryegrass takes hold, then Mark Eisenhandler, will be replanting that entire hillside back to what it was prior to the excavation. Or
it's going to depend on the ryegrass again.
Currently, yes. Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Any other questions? Other topics? Oh, let me back up one other thing. We had told you that we're changing the pool pack. The pool pack is the unit that heats and cools the pool area. We are. We're told currently that the lead time, the time that we have to wait for that unit, is 22 to 26 weeks. Now, we're also told, by the engineers also telling us that currently the deliveries have been much, much sooner. That's just what the factory is still saying. So it's all, it's contract signed, the unit's being ordered, it's in progress. So I don't have a time frame for you. But, so as soon as we know more, I'll let you know.
I think it's helpful also for you guys to understand a couple things, because we like to be very transparent. The cost for the pool pack is going to be about $300,000. The cost for the washout and the replacement of the pipe and all of that work was $175,000. The trail was originally contemplated 70, now is going to be 100. So, it's important for you to understand that these kinds of investments happen. We have deep enough pockets to be able to finance them as they come up, but these do have very significant price tags associated with them. So when we're talking about projects like this, they're very, very large order of magnitude. I always encourage people to think about it in the context of how much you paid for your first house, or, and these are the projects that come up for us all the time. So Tom does a great job managing it. And, It's just important for you to understand that kind of thing from a transparency perspective.
And I also have the pleasure of getting to walk into Michelle with the PRFs to explain her these numbers. Any other questions about anything else? All right, Rob?
Hi, everyone. I'm Robert Dunn, Director of Environmental Services. A couple things I want to talk about is Monday will be the commencement of window cleaning. That's something we've kind of moved to an every other year kind of service. This year, we are using a new company than the company we have used for, I think, the past decade here. So I just ask for a little bit of patience. I know a lot of people call the front desk. Please don't do that and say, when are they coming to my apartment? It's kind of like we get there when we get there kind of thing. I put out a tentative schedule that will be in the Chanticleer for independent living so you guys can kind of track. And I've given this to the window company. It's a tentative thing to see how fast they move through the building. The last company was very familiar with this facility. You work here for 10 years, you know every nook and cranny, but when you're just starting, these guys are just walking into the building. I've toured them once to kind of look at the landscape, and they visited once themselves just to kind of look at the scope of the project. So I asked for a little bit of patience this year when it comes to this new company. We'll see how it goes, see how well they do. They're new to us and we're new to them. So there's a little bit of learning curve that comes in as they come in to see how well they work. We just ask that, you have everything off your windowsills and nothing blocking the windows so we can move as fast as possible through the building. So take a look at the Chanticleer. I think it's posted at the front desk as well. So you can kind of see a tentative agreement, and it's all weather pending as long as Mother Nature kind of cooperates with our schedule when we'll start the outside cleaning once they start removing the screens. Okay, any questions on the windows? I'll start with that. Go ahead, Betsy.
Are you starting with the insides and then doing the outsides?
Always. We have to start on the insides to take the screens out so we can do the outsides. It's the only way to work. It's the only way we've ever worked around here.
Here you go.
Does that include the cottages as well?
Yes, the cottages are at the tail end right now. Tentatively, I have you scheduled for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I did not schedule anything for Labor Day just because, you're not going to have the same staff, or if you guys have things planned for Labor Day, we just not doing that. So yes, cottages are usually at the tail end. All right. On this particular schedule, I do have to block out usually a day or two for the health center, but we do that. We usually move on to the health center once most of IL because they got to do all the common areas. I just don't know how big their team is going to be, and that's going to be contingent on how fast they move through the facility. All right. If I do have a cottage email, kind of like a group list. And if things are running long or if things are running sooner, I can shoot that list an email and say, hey, cottages, we're going to come to you Friday the 30th, if we're moving faster than possible. Go ahead, Mr.
So last time, a couple of years ago, as I recall, there was a significant delay period of time between the removal of the screens and the replacement of them, several weeks, as I recall.
Mhm.
Is that what we can expect this time?
Usually, because that's staff pending. We put the screens back as Woodland Pond staff. That's really kind of contingent. Tom's staff helps, my staff helps, putting those screens back.
So do we have the option then to say you wash above, but don't take the screens out?
Yeah, I mean, if they come into your cottage and you only want the insides done and you don't want the outsides done, and you can just leave the screens in, that's an option for you. Yeah, just let them know if that's what you want to do. I don't suggest that because most of the dirt is on the outside of the windows. You know what I mean? I get it with the screens, but yeah. It all depends on the amount of staff we have to put thousands of screens back in this facility, Go ahead, Halima.
Rob, in the past, if we weren't going to be home, they came in with a staff member. Is that still the same?
Yes, we're going to assign somebody. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but that staff member will have a key. Marissa, who was a big help, thank you, Marissa, put a list together for me. And for them, really, I'm going to give them a room list that's broken out by wing because we're starting on the top of South. 6 South is where we'll be starting. We will work in that direction, but yes, a staff member will have a master key. And if you have permission for housekeeping to come in, I'm assuming that's okay. If you have any other thoughts, if you don't want them coming in when you're not there, I understand that too. Call me ahead of time because I need to put that on the schedule. If you have in Works Hub the permission for housekeeping to come in while you're not there, then I'm assuming it's okay for us to come in and have them do the windows. But yes, a staff member will be with them. They will have the key. I'm not handing them the key. All right.
Rob,
Go ahead, Mrs. Bain. No, we are not doing the screens. Screens we usually do every other cleaning, but we didn't do that this year. We will focus on the screens on the next time we come around and do the windows. We'll
Rob,
factor that in. Go ahead.
last time you did the outside windows, there was an issue about water use. Has that been resolved at all?
No, it's just, I think we were just looking to conserve over time instead of we use a lot of water to clean the windows around here, especially on the outsides of the size of this facility. So we just kind of came like, we're just water conservation. Let's do it every other year. Did we need to do it every year? There is dirt and debris and pollen and everything, but I feel like we can survive doing it every other year. Any other questions on the windows? One more?
Shout it out, John.
Shout it out. Why do you wait for me to come in? That's a Tommy question.
Oh, I mean, I can bring Tom the mic.
Tommy can answer that.
There is a plan, and there was a change to that plan. And segueing, like Michelle just mentioned before, about a lot of the money that we had spent lately, especially like the big dig and some other things. We had a plan to have the gutters cleaned, but that's one of the things that we have to push off until about maybe the spring again, because we just had to make some cutbacks on some things and do other things. So the gutters will be cleaned. The gutters will be cleaned probably in the spring, but I'm not committing to that.
So if you have an issue with a gutter that's causing some kind of a safety concern, please put in a work order immediately because we don't want obviously any ice flows or anything like that. So if you have an issue about a gutter that's a safety concern, please put in a work order, right?
Yeah. Because the issue with the cleaning the gutters, it's like time we're done, it's like $25,000-$30,000 because we can't get to the gutters. So we have to bring in a company and they can't even do it with one lift. They need 3 different size lifts. So it's not that simple.
Any cleaning questions for Tom while he's here?
All right, you two comedians, pick your next victim.
One more question in the back, but just before you get to your question, Carrie's last day is Friday. All right. I know. Right. She's not leaving us. She's not quitting. She's just abandoning us for her child. But we wish her well. She will be out, 12 weeks. April will be filling her role. So her phone will be forwarded to April or myself, depending on how much April and I argue about that. But, we'll continue to reach out on annuals. I think we have 50 annuals to finish for the year. So we're moving extremely well on that and we'll continue to move forward on that. So we all wish Carrie well and the best of luck with her little girl on the way. All right. One more question.
Yes, I was curious as to when the environmental trash areas would be cleaned. It's been months.
Yes, I'm going to assign. I think I've noticed that I do have one person. I had one person. I gave that person to Tom. It's a floor care kind of person where we were refinishing all those floors. So when
refinishing, is that
they're going to refinish?
retile?
Yeah, no, not retile, but they're going to be stripped and waxed. So we'll start with a brand new finish on the floor. Those tiles will last forever. We just need to strip and wax them and just make them look brand new. which is not hard to do, but it's just a training process. I need to train a new staff member to do so. But I will assign the housekeepers a trash room. So we're monitoring that more closely, and we're just, for whatever debris winds up on the floor that doesn't wind up in the garbage can. I don't know who's doing that around here. It's pretty quiet, but yes, we will. I'm going to assign somebody each garbage room on a floor, and they will monitor that on their, regular schedule, so they can hit that garbage room on a regular basis. Okay.
Thank you. I want to thank Tom too. The ramp that has been put in at the back door is a great help. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to pass it on to Jason.
Yeah, I'll actually just, while you're doing that, I'll explain a little bit about that too. I think I might have said it on Tuesday. We have a monthly safety committee meeting. I don't know if you're all aware of that or not. And anytime there's an incident on campus that is a slip, a trip, a fall, something, we record it. And then at our monthly safety committee meetings, our team talks about any safety concerns. We go off of the reported incidents, and then everybody does a roundtable and it comes up. So that step over here came up as a concern at our August safety committee meeting, which was 2 Wednesdays ago, 2 weeks from, was it last week? Oh, 1 week ago. So in the committee, we discussed what are our options, and Tom said, I think we can get a pre-made ramp that can be attached and affixed, and then it was addressed. So we do monitor these things really carefully and closely, and on a very, formalized basis. Jason?
I am Jason Irish, Director of Concierge and Communication Services. The first thing I'll say, Michelle talked about it at her address yesterday. Dave Smith's in the room. This upcoming Monday, we're going to do the Adopt a Highway cleanup. We've talked about it before. Again, Michelle talked about it yesterday. Anyone that's interested, we've got a list at the concierge desk, or you could let Dave know. We're going to leave at 11:15 on Monday, clean our stretch of 299, and then bring everyone home around 1 p.m. Most of you who use the machine probably know we fixed it last week. The Her machine that's been out of service for a few weeks is now back operational. We've tested all the machines. Matt's in there helping out. They're all good now. So anyone that's interested in using the machines, go over to the fitness center, see Matt. But that one machine that was down is now back. This is new. And I didn't even tell Michelle I was going to talk about this, but she knows about it. It's our purse pendants. So first I'll talk about your purse pendant in general. We should be, knowing where it is, testing it every once in a while to make sure it works. So I think everyone in the next month should find their purse pendant, call concierge, test it, make sure it works. And then I'll move on to the next part of this. So Status Solutions, the company that provides us with the software for our SARA system and the equipment, they just came out with a new pendant. This new pendant you can wear on your wrist. You can wear around your neck. It's waterproof. It's cheaper than the ones we buy now. The ones we buy now are $180 a piece. The new ones are $135 a piece, but they're new in development, and they say the life on them is only about 3 years. So if we decide to purchase these, again, they're only giving us 3 years, and then we may have to replace it. There's no battery replacement like we have on ours now. Most of you know, we'll say, hey, bring us your pendant so we can change the battery. That's not on these new ones. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it. I just purchased 5. They haven't come yet. We're going to trial them and see how it goes. Michelle and I talked quick about maybe offering it out to other residents after this trial to see how they go, to see if anyone wants to turn in their pendant and maybe purchase one of these new ones. We'll have to figure out how that's all going to work. But after we trial these 5 that are coming, we'll see if anyone else is interested in maybe getting a waterproof one. Again, it's got a 3-year life according to but they just came out, so we don't know. This came out in the Chanticleer 2 weeks ago. We offered a volunteering opportunity with New Paltz Community Center, like developing some of the signage that they have around their building. We only really had 2 people interested. So again, if anyone is interested, we have the signs at the concierge desk to show you what they're looking for. If anyone wants to get involved with some volunteering opportunities with the New Paltz Community Center, stop at the desk, talk to Lisa, send me an email, stop and talk to me. But we'd like to, develop some kind of relationship with them, and this is a good way to start. Another volunteering opportunity. which goes hand in hand with a trip next month. We put on the trip sheet kind of a lunch adventure and a trip to the Klein Esopus Museum, which is right in Esopus. And then that day we're going to go to Red Maple for lunch as well. But this Klein Esopus Museum has volunteering opportunities as a greeter, someone to give tours of the building. If anybody is interested in that, come and talk to me, or maybe we'll wait to see how the trip goes. And then if anyone's interested after, let me know. But that's another local place that we'd like to, develop a relationship with. And that trip is next month on the 27th. And this kind of goes hand in hand. So the trips, we've seen less turnout and less signups for the trips recently over the last couple months. We have been adding more trips. This month, I think there was like 14 or 15. We ended up canceling a few. Next month, we had like 14 on there, and we're ended up canceling 5 because 5 people or less signed up for like 5 of them. I think next month we're going to try to put less, maybe 7 or 8. We don't want to limit the trips. We want to, keep them going, but we need, turnout. If anyone has ideas of places we should go or things we should do. I know I see Ann here too, and Ann gave us one yesterday that we're going to try to do for Trina Green next month, but we have a trip the same day. So we'll see if we can make them both work. But if anyone has ideas for trips and outings, please let us know, let me know, let Lisa know, let concierge know, and we'll add them and try to add them to the next month. I'll just talk about this. I don't see Charles or Bob in the room, but we go to Danbury probably once every 3 or 4 months. We go to the Danbury Mall, or we go to this restaurant, Rosie Tomorrow's. We go to Trader Joe's. You see it on the trip sheet for next month. We kind of tried something different where we're adding multiple stops and kind of trialing to see how that goes. Again, that's just another idea. We're trying to just change things up. So, give feedback. Also give feedback on any of the trips. If you liked them, if you didn't like them, let us know. Oh, what else here? Any questions to this point? Oh, Michelle, come on.
I was just wondering if those boosters were installed for the cell phone signal.
So Terrell can talk on that.
Okay.
I will say that one was installed, but I'll let Terrell talk on that. Yeah, that was a trial too, but again, we'll let Terrell dive into that. The last thing I'll talk about, just before this meeting, I met with Irvin Boucher over in the art studio to talk about the kiln. I'm going to say, I'm not going to give a hard deadline, but the next few months, the kiln is going to be up and running. So anybody interested, I don't know how it's going to play out. We'll probably end up putting something on the activities calendar, but keep an eye out for that. The kiln will be going in the next few months. We feel pretty good about it. And I felt even more confident after talking with Mr. Boucher. That's all I have. Any questions? None? Good. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well today. My name is Terrell Fairley. I am the manager of IT and cybersecurity here at Woodland Pond. I'm finally starting to recognize a lot of faces here. So I'm pretty sure I've probably communicated with almost everybody here. So 3 things really quick. I know we're wrapping up here. So as Jason mentioned, with the signal booster, yes, we did put in the signal booster as a trial. That went pretty well. That's out in the lobby here. So it is kind of restricted to a certain, range. It doesn't expand throughout the entire building, but just in the lobby here, we get a little bit better signal coverage. So if you need to make a cell phone call, there's your area. We are trying to expand that. All right. So we do have a couple of areas that we talked about expanding. I won't mention those now, just because there's some cable routing issues that we need to get through before we determine whether these are the appropriate areas to deploy those boosters at. The next thing that I have on my list is, and I think Michelle spoke about this during the last PAC meeting, was the survey for the IT. Well, one of the topics was IT security, right? So I know that's kind of a topic of concern for most people in this room. I do plan on getting something together within the next month for folks who are interested in learning how they can help, protect themselves against some of the common threats that are out there today. So look out for that. That'll be publicized in the Lindsay, how's that going to be publicized? In the Chancellor, likely? Constant Contact. Yeah, so that'll come out to you guys via email. And on that topic, the third thing that I wanted to talk about was because it is becoming more and more kind of critically important for people as these attacks are spreading in the wild. How do we actually, protect ourselves? One good kind of key area that folks can, start to think about is putting a credit freeze on. All right. So I do have some information about how we can freeze our credit for free. Everybody has the ability to do this for free. So we can lock our credit. And the benefit that we get for locking our credit is that folks who illegally obtain our personal information, what they try to do with that information is a number of things. But one primary thing that can kind of really hurt us that they do is they take out loans in our name, right? So they use our credit for that. All right. And the way that we can prevent those adversaries from doing that is locking our credit, which then at that point we have control to lock and unlock our credit. But I will send out some information, or Lindsay will send out some information in Constant Contact, because I think that that's a huge help for everybody in this room. And that's something that we can all easily do. But along with that, we will send out some information on, how to monitor your credit, how to generate, free credit reports and such from some of the leading agencies. But some of that information will be included in that as well. Those were the three things that I had. Any questions about any of that? Yes.
Terrell, you referred to Constant Contact. What is that?
So Constant Contact is the tool that we use essentially to send out notifications to the residents, right? So it will be to you, it will come in a form of an email. Okay. Any other questions?
Shout it. You just shout it.
Yes. So the credit that you will be locking if you decided to do something like that would be on 3 different credit bureaus. Experian is one of the primary credit bureaus, one of the 3. So my suggestion would be to lock your credit on all 3, including Experian. Yes. I can certainly help whatever problems and challenges that you're having with Spectrum. I will say that it's kind of, everybody has their own internet connectivity through Spectrum individually, right? So in many cases, what I've seen is that a problem that may, for example, affect you may be a different problem, but a resident may experience similar symptoms, right? So although the problem may get fixed with, maybe a bad cable or something in your case, it may be a different fix for somebody else. So although it might seem kind of easy to think that your problem applies to everybody, that's likely not the case. But we did put a little piece of information in the Chance of Clear, I think recently, about that, right? So if anybody does have Spectrum related connectivity, internet connectivity related issues, everyone has the ability to call Spectrum on their own. We are here to support you guys with that. If you feel comfortable calling Spectrum, go ahead and do so. If you need me to get involved, if you have any kind of, preliminary questions to ask prior to reaching out to Spectrum, I can help you out with that as well. If you think it's something that may be easily resolved or you just don't know, reach out to me. We like to hear those calls first before going to Spectrum, right? Because a lot of times we can resolve those in-house. Great question. Yes. Same problem for you. Okay.
Okay. One thing I'll just mention is you guys have really embraced Terrell's role. He's doing a fantastic job and you're keeping him extraordinarily busy, and he actually has work that he needs to do for me. So he will be getting an assistant. We're going to be posting for a technician, probably will be the title or something, which can do some more of like the more basic things. So you may not always see Terrell now, but hopefully we're going to recruit somebody pretty quickly because Terrell has a brain for all of the cybersecurity stuff that helps keep Woodland Pond's networks and everything super tight. And I want to give him all the time that he needs to be able to do that. So look for that hopefully in the next month or so. Thanks, Terrell. All right. If you guys want to go, you can. Yes.
I forgot to ask you. You know how each year you clean the scruff on the other side of the fences behind the cottage going down the hill?
Yeah, we started that with diesel powered equipment.
Are you gonna do that this year?
Yes,
Great.
yes, yeah, no, yeah, Mark's talked to the contractors, to the guys already.
All right, so I'm not done yet, Neil. No ice cream yet. I need to give you guys a 5-minute update on construction because this is where we do that. And then you can have some ice cream. So before I do that, I just want to mention, you are going to have your socks knocked off when you see the September calendar. Okay. It's going to have a lot on it. Because in addition to all the things that Jason just talked about, we have come up with an extensive calendar of events to celebrate the 15-year anniversary. So you're definitely going to have to be making some choices about what you want to participate in. It's going to be a great month. And so make sure you look out for that when it comes out, hopefully in the next couple of days. All right. So a couple things. We have committed to you that on the connected living screens, you should be getting updated design documents. I personally don't look at it regularly because I get updated design documents all the time. I just noticed the ones that are still on connected living are from July. So we will get those updated and then we'll do that regularly. We are still very much in the schematic design phase. So we're still moving things around every time we have meetings. So there are multiple design meetings happening every single week with our entire design team. So these are happening on Zoom, which is on the computer, because our design team is folks from Milwaukee, Texas, Philly, etc. But we work together, we dedicate time, and we go through things. Right now, we are continuing to focus on this building and the related renovations, which is going to be the first phase of renovations. We have taken the feedback from the focus groups that we've had so far very seriously. And there have been significant design changes that have come out of that. And I'll give you an example. Initially, the design was that the pack, as you have it now, was going to be split in half, and half would be reserved for exercise space and half would be reserved for meeting space. It was clear from the focus groups that that is not going to be adequate. So the pack will be almost entirely, this room will be maintained and turned over to fitness space. If not entirely, then probably 4/5 of it. That's just one of many examples. So where we are now is we are continuing to make design edits and changes. And we are also now moving into the phasing aspect of this, because I think I've discussed with you the fact that we anticipate doing 2 rounds of financing. So there'll be a first round of financing based on what we can afford now without incurring additional, without having an additional revenue stream from the expansion. So that first round of financing, I'm estimating is probably going to be around $20 million, is going to happen in probably this spring. April 15th is our goal. The second round of financing is probably going to be about $120 million. And that's going to happen a few years down the road, but that's to finish out the renovation on this campus and then begin the expansion. All of this still is in the schematic phase. We have not brought any applications to the planning board yet. Nothing has been definitively determined. So we're still really evaluating the costs and where we think that this is going to go. As I'm talking about phasing, what I mean by that is if we know, for example, that we're going to have access to, let's say, a portion of that $20 million towards construction, let's say it's 15 million, and the rest goes towards costs of financing and design fees and stuff. We have to say, what are the first 15 million going to be used for, even within this community center, right? Because we can't just start touching dining and fitness and building a new pack and everything all at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So our team now is trying to figure out what are the most important and pertinent changes that we need to make, and how do we phase that for all of you so that there's no service interruptions, and so that we can be spending that money very wisely, okay? Because it's very possible that the regulators and the bankers might say, okay, you certainly can do the 20 million, and then who knows what happens down the road. Maybe the economy changes, the market changes, et cetera. We can't go to that second round. We don't want to spend 20 million or 15 million or any million here if it doesn't have long-term value. So we're spending a lot of time making sure that the designs meet your needs, but that they also make financial sense. It's very, very important to us. So we're working through a lot of those issues. So what I'm going to do, Dave Roberts is out sick today, but when he's back, which will hopefully be tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to ask him for the latest round of schematic design documents for this building. So you can see one of the things that we've done, in addition to moving the footprint of the PAC into more fitness, is we have changed the articulation of the fitness center expansion. So rather than it coming out and being in the shape of a T out here, or it was just supposed to be an addition on the end, Tom Tango had the idea that if we pushed it out a little bit further into the grass and canted it a little bit, that those rooms would have an unobstructed view of the ridge. And since one of those components is going to be a wellness lounge with fireplace and comfortable lounge seating and sort of more of a meditative type space, we thought that having access to that view would be really something to knock the socks off. So I want you guys to see all that. We will be having another round of focus groups, possibly not with the entire design team, but definitely with Dave, to start letting you see some of the progress that we've made and give feedback and comments on to where we've gotten now. But we are making good progress, but we are trying to be very, very careful with decision making and not spending anything that we don't think has lasting value. Rhea, hold on. Jason will bring the mic.
Are you going to phase this? So let's say the first $20 million, you tackle the dining room, let's say. Is that going to be completed so that if you don't get the additional money, then you'll have a brand new dining?
That's exactly the thought process, Rhea, because there are so many components to how we get approved for financing. And the economy, who's in charge of the regulators at the time? Is there a bond market available? What are the rates like? What does the municipality think of our plans, et cetera? It's completely unknown. So we're going to tackle this in pieces, and we are not going to spend money on a project now that doesn't rely on that money to finish it. So for example, we are looking at doing dining first right now, and we need to make renovations in the actual kitchen. So we need to make kitchen renovations, and then we need to make space upgrades to the dining space. The way we're phasing it right now, and this could change, is kitchen first, then upgrade the bistro area, which is where you guys sit in the lower ceiling, then begin the renovations and updates headed out towards the game room, because that's all going to be modified. But what we're not going to do from the first round of financing is put the expanded verandas on. So we're going to upgrade and make current and attractive the existing space, but the veranda addition, which is needed for additional residents, wouldn't be added until the second phase. So that's exactly how we're phasing it. Go ahead.
Hi, my wife and I just moved here a few weeks ago.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
We're very happy to have you. And that picture of the dogs was
Oh, thanks.
adorable.
They're home.
Oh, I'd love to meet them. The picture was so cute.
Thanks. I had a question. We were both looking forward to taking some LLI from SUNY New Paltz classes here at Woodland Pond in this very room, but they're not having any because they were told, well, renovation is going to be going on, so they're not allowed in here.
So the way that the LLI contract works is we have to make it with them for an entire school year. And we know we will be renovating within the existing school year. So for this year, we were not able to accommodate it. For the following year on our campus, for the following year, we're going to evaluate those opportunities on a case-by-case basis because it's definitely something that we like and that they like. We do still have a partnership with LLI though, and they offer their classes kind of all over the place in New Paltz. So if there's a particular class that you're interested in, or we can get some more literature out to all of you of how you could attend those classes. We also have a relationship with the college such that if there's a non-LLI class that you would like to audit and you come across it and you find information about it, you can let me know and I will call President Wheeler's office, and he has expressed that he will allow our residents, obviously subject to space considerations, will allow you to audit those classes.
Okay,
And he has said at no cost.
excellent. One of the things, we went to the open house there a couple of weeks ago, and we were told that if you have a handicap thing on your car, that you can park anywhere on the campus. Do you know if that's true?
At the college?
Yeah,
I don't know the answer to that
guess
question.
it's difficult. Parking is tough on the campus.
Yeah, I know it is. I'll look into it. We'll find out. Lindsay, add that to your list, please. Other questions or comments on expansion renovation right now? Okay. I don't think I had anything else. You guys know where to find the stuff on the weekly address. There were some new things to sign up for, some forms we need from you, but you don't have to listen to this version of me for that. You can listen to yesterday's. Go enjoy your ice cream.